all things. And just because you have the budget to, still doesn't mean that you can do all things
They
well.
think they
You know
Lex
what I'm saying?
Luthor.
I'm
See, you
telling
just
you,
set
it's
it
like,
up. They think I got
oh,
cake, so let me
TikTok, we
go.
got this. Oh,
Well, believe
Instagram,
it or
we own
not,
this. You know, it's just
yeah,
like
Mm.
it's like you, and then too, it's like the other part of it all is the social behaviors. Like I always be teaching on, social behaviors are important because it doesn't matter if they let you do X, Y, and Z from a video aspect on Facebook. You will watch while somebody is live. Maybe if it's good within a week to a month, that's a month is pushing it. Go back and check it. But after so long, that feed dies and it just gets buried, and you never go back to rewatch that content.
well, there's a
Whereas
reason
on
for that.
YouTube,
Yeah, there's a
on
reason for
YouTube,
that. I mean, the thing is that, like I would say, most people do not take the time to actually think about why they want to go live, because you cannot repurpose anything without primarily thinking of that. You know, you got to plan it. Even if, like, of course, if you're used to repurposing, then you can do it on the fly where you record a video. You're like, you know what, I want to repurpose this. But if you don't have that background and experience, then you got to think about, okay, I want to do a live that I want to be able to repurpose later afterwards. So now you got to draw a map down, say, okay, what am I going to do the live about? And how would the repurposing look like? Then you can have a strategy that's going to be effective. But if you're just going to take a video and share it back on social media, and then there's no activity, no engagement around it, then, I mean, again, that is the recipe for failure, which is the reason, which goes back to the same thing. Right now, we're trying this with Facebook, but again, we have a reason going live. Like he didn't just hit live. We're just having a conversation offline, and now we're trying something, and people are joining in. But the thing is, if anybody were to ask us questions here live, we'll be able to answer and tell them exactly what we're doing and where we're coming live. So
that's one of the reasons why I was hoping this co-working thing would be dope, because on Fridays or my daily streams is very one directional. If I could get in a situation where, you know, I get a panel, a couple of us there, we out there, we hanging out, you know, we can help them with their scenes and stuff, or help them with something that they're doing. It'd be multi-directional. And there's a thing that Stephanie uses called Remo we did, which was dope. But, you know, I guess I got to ask the bosses, hey, can we buy Remo? Because that seems kind of cool. But I don't know. I think it would just be fun. Like if we was at Starbucks, Miss D would be like, hey, can you come over and help me with this? All right, cool. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get a different interaction with the king.
The other thing too with the panel idea is the fact that you'll have a lot of people that may reply on a question or concern, but not all of those are advice that people should be listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not that they're not trying to be helpful, but it's just like when you have educated responses and uneducated responses competing for someone's attention, and they're already in a space where they don't know the answer.
Okay, wait, I got a screenshot something for you guys. This is Facebook in a nutshell. There's a thing in my way asking me about device settings, and it covers where I'm trying to let Evie in. So I screenshotted it to save it for y'all to show y'all, but I'm trying to let Evie in, and Facebook device settings is blocking me from pressing the button that they just asked me to press. Evie, you are echoing, mama.
Yeah, Evie got a speaker back there.
I'm gonna mute her speaker. Oh, there she goes. She turning it down. There you go.
It's just as when you first come in, you gotta adjust the microphone and the video. And
oh yeah, that's it. Yes. Evie, change your microphone and video. There's a gear that you click.
Yeah, on top right there. Yeah, you go. There you go.
There you go. Look at that. She just wake up in the middle of the night like, look, I'm fly. Let's go.
Man, you woke me up, man. I was upstairs.
I'm saying, Evie was like, I'm fly. Let's go.
I'm glad that wasn't broadcasted. I just clicked on the thing. I was like, what is Doc doing? And then you see the ceiling in my bedroom and you hear somebody snoring.
That's I was like, that brother wasn't ready.
I was like, JP still asleep. JP like, hey, yo, what's up? I'm up. I'm good.
No, man, I'm woke,
used to be me in church, dude. I be in church, neck just like, whoop.
Hey, man, I went to
go down for prayer, don't come up for nothing.
It was fine, Evie. What happened? What you did? She just
it was good. Head.
I wonder what that looks like when Yeah, because you have to click on, because let's see, the three dots and then device settings.
My
so
audio
right,
output is giving me trouble.
Yeah, I had changed mine before I clicked in. It's like, but now it's a little different. You click on the three dots for more and then device settings, and then you should be able to switch it over.
Yeah, then you could change it. Because I found my device settings. I can change my camera, my Rodecaster Pro.
The moment I hit save, my audio just went.
It went berserk.
I just
so what if you exit out?
P.
What if you? I was just gonna say, what if she exit out, change it, and then before she comes back in? Yeah.
Hey, try hit Option P on your keyboard. Oh, I see the shortcuts. Go ahead, girl. There you go.
I do like though that we can actively see like the likes, hearts, and all of that coming in.
Yes.
It's a shame you can't bring it onto the screen like you can, but I mean it's a nice touch, but you know.
Oh, that would be the flaw, Ms. D, right there. I could not do comments on screen this way. I would have to like do a capture of this live comments window. Or
and display that in Ecamm, right?
Play that in Ecamm.
Yeah, right. Separately, so people, so you can display the comments. Because this is still like a private group chat that you're broadcasting live. So it still kept the spirit of privacy. Is a group that people are just watching live. So
it did say that on the intro, like when you come in, it does discuss things about your privacy. I'm just saying, how did Evie get this sweater though? It's kind of nice.
I'm saying that's like I woke up in the ClickUp merch.
Yo, come on. Hey, I mean, I sent you a notebook, Mom. What's cracking?
Oh yeah.
Evie got yours too. I went and finally checked the mail today. I said,
well, dopest video about
what do you know? It's gonna have to wait till the AM when I actually have a mind to share it on Instagram.
Doc, you were hilarious. You know I nerd out about stuff like this.
So
I lost it. I said, now look at what they done here. Look at what you done here.
JP, if you're not up on Rocket Books yet,
I'm not yet. I need to join the team.
All right, I will send you one.
I was like,
you write on here, and then you can use a spritz of water and the microfiber they give you to wipe it off, or you can use the regular eraser that's on there, that's on the bottom of Friction. You can only use Friction pens, of course.
Oh, really?
But the money shot is at the end, there's these little check boxes on the bottom, right? And so with the check boxes, you can say, go to Google Drive, go to Notion, go to wherever you want it to go to. And some stuff you can do automatically, some stuff you need Zapier or if this and that to put it in. So I just want Evie to be like, okay, this is how you get up, and then I'll copy her rather than me trying to figure that
you do know that's going to be the next step, because right now it's like I still write notes in handwriting because it's faster than typing for me. I hate typing.
Exactly. I'm the same way.
Now,
exact same way. Yeah, that's why I was just like, I just started a new journal, like a new notebook. I just started, so I'm like, okay, let's try some things new.
Doc's getting his backpack ready
because I would have to transition it anyhow.
I want to show you guys.
Doc is digging into his backpack right now.
He's got different sizes, different colors.
No, I get them all the different sizes, but they're different colors. So this is my Panda planner. This is like the planning.
And it's the and it's the Rocket book version. Got it.
This is what we sent you guys, right? The orange joint. And the black one is for Let's Get Live, which is upstairs. It's not in my backpack, but yeah. So I got ones for each thing. So there's the Ecamm one. The orange one is Ecamm. The black one is Let's Get Live, and the Panda planner is more like my personal info. And then the little red joint, the one that I was just showing you, it stays in my pocket all the time because I don't always have a notebook. Yeah. This is in my back pocket 24/7. The dopest part about being plastic, it doesn't have butt shape.
Yeah.
So my field notes has butt shape because I'm Puerto Rican. Notebook become crooked.
Now I need to actually take my pen and paper planner and turn that into a Rocket book.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like, I'm glad I had just transferred a bunch of stuff to digital so I could make sure I have both. And so I just started the new one that I had just bought. And I was just like, okay, let's pause for the calls here because I'm only a few pages in, so it's enough that I can transfer it. But yeah, that was a nice gift.
Kevin and Rob.
Let's get shopping.
With Doc, right? I see some folks saying no eCam tonight. Well, folks, we're still using eCam, just using the virtual camera to come into here. So pretty much most of us are using that. Diana, using your virtual camera as well, right?
No, I'm just using the capture card.
Oh, directly. Okay. I'm using my virtual cam so that my LUT can be applied to my video. So
okay,
guys,
gotcha.
Yeah, because if I were to go directly, it will still show the same set, but it's not going to display my LUT. So for folks that want to understand, if you have a LUT or certain settings with your eCam you want to use, then you want to use your virtual camera to bring it in whenever you go live. And one thing that I also noticed is that whenever I was invited to private eCam session using the eCam interview. And when I try to go using Safari, it will not show my virtual camera. Only Google Chrome will show it.
So, Safari has securities that won't let that happen. Okay.
Yeah, Safari doesn't show
I just
that.
applied a LUT for those people that's like, wow, you do that. If I'm going for this is a secret late night, sex talk LUT. That's the secret late night sex talk LUT, right? Hey, come on, girl. Boy. And then, you can apply LUTs, but I gotta tell people what most people don't understand about LUTs that would just jack them up, right? So this one's not bad. What would jack you up? You can't use a LUT to fix a effed up camera. You have to have the picture straight. Then you apply the LUT to the top of it, right? So some folks, you put makeup on the ugly soul. They just hot looking but ugly. So same thing. You got to have the picture correct. Your soul got to be good. Then you can apply the LUT to it.
Well, LUT is, lookup table for the colors you already have.
The colors. That's all it is. It's changing the colors.
So if you don't have enough lighting, if your setting is not talking about your color balance in your camera, if all that is jacked up, then your LUT cannot correct anything. It's color correction. So first of all, your colors got to be right. You got to do your balance. You got to have the proper light so your sensor can capture properly. Then when you apply the LUT, embellishes what you already have going. But if the foundation is not there, you can't add anything to it.
Yeah, it's a whole process because some people be buying LUTs and don't have white balance.
Holla. Hey, remember those 80s videos where everything was black and white, but and then the girl comes out with like red lipstick, and then you can see the red person in red shoes. That could be done with a lookup table. That could be, I want you to eliminate every color in the shot and only let red shine through. And that's what a LUT would do. But you have to have the good picture first. There's the Frank White graphic novel, that Sin City. That's how you do Sin City.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much look at Diana's image. Diana, she has the contrast, she has the color correction, right? Everything is correct. So she can play around with her image by applying a LUT if she's looking for a specific look. All right. Again, that's cinematography, right? Like it depends on what you're trying to do, because a LUT gives a certain mood to your shot. So you can decide to apply that or not, depending on the look you're trying to get, because of course the camera
late
will not get
night
you that.
porn talks with Doc.
Doc, don't do that to me. I'm single during 2020. Don't.
Come on,
don't
Doc.
put that
Take
picture
that
in my head, please.
Hey, I'm like, hey y'all, this David Blackman.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I'm out.
David sleep. He don't even know he getting thrown under the bus right now.
Right. But that's the thing, is like I've done that in a live stream. It was actually in the eCam. It was a long time ago, I think sometime last year. But it was like somebody asked about LUTs. So I went and grabbed some of the LUTs that I have on my computer. And I went and changed the log profile from, usually this is like standard, with a couple of this minor adjustments, if anything. But it's usually just like standard straight out of the camera. So I went and changed it to an S-Log2 profile just to show them like where you start at to build it. And I only used a LUT, and then I used the effects that are available within eCam to adjust the gamma, saturation, to adjust the brightness or anything else like that, or white balance shift that I may need to. But I wouldn't have to, because it's always white balance for this space. And then I went and made those adjustments and gave like 3-4 different looks using the same LUT, that one and another one. And it's just like, it's just dependent on, but you got to have the right baseline for exposure. You have to have the right thing for one. It's like, is that LUT that you are using or that log profile that you're using, what does it complement? Is it better for when you're in brighter situations? Is it better for when you're in darker situations? Like, what is it? What's the base for? There's so much education that goes into that. And people just think like, buy a LUT, throw it on, magic happens. I wish it was that simple. It is not.
You said the magic
we're not
word.
there yet. We're about 3 camera generations away from the camera just being able to auto fix all myriad things. But
no, but she said it. She said the magic word. Her magic word was, balance for the space, right?
Yes.
Because the space you're in encompasses everything you have. The lighting, the colors, everything that is even you're not thinking about. Your sensor kind of reads it, like everything that's behind her, right? The sensors read everything that's behind me. I got a lot of red and stuff going on. So whenever I'm balancing my colors, I got to keep in mind my skin tone, right? Also, that also goes into preparing. And she just said it, going to C-Log, that's a flat profile in cinematography. And now when you build that up, then you have to know how to color correct. Or, I just did that for one of my clients actually today, where we built a LUT specifically for her skin tone, for her setup, for her space, for her lighting. Her LUT will not work for Diana or Ivy or Doc or me. It's not the same space. Those are not the same colors.
Oh,
not the same people. It's just not
I
going to work.
tell people all the time, like, even like they say, well, I just use auto white balance. And I go, well, you can't do that. And they go, why? I was like, your camera was made in Japan. And they're like,
yeah,
what?
you can't do that.
I go, your camera was made in Japan. For their sunlight, their skin tones. Like, it's not going to work on us. Not in your house, like with already you're cheating because you got bicolor lighting. So I have daylight, and then throw a tungsten bulb in the back. The camera don't know what to do with that. It just doesn't. So
right. I was like, and you can move around and trip up on the right thing, but as soon as you move again, then it's gonna go. So it's like, if you're gonna use auto white balance, at least set up your custom buttons on your camera to lock where it's currently at. Yeah, and then you can at least know, like, that's what I'm trying to always go for. It's like, once you do it right, you should never have to do it again, because you need to set up systems and parameters and how you're using your camera, so you can always recreate that same look, desired look, should you choose to, versus like, I did it one time and I have no idea how it happened. It's like, you got to know what your camera trying to do. Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned about the LUT for your skin tone. I talked about that on my Friday live stream, where I was like, you will buy somebody else's LUT and you just throw it on. It's like, it's not built probably for your skin tone. And I don't care what colorist talks about, oh, it's all on the skin tone line. Yes, but is the hue representative of what you're trying to do for that customized look to go with that? I'm like, because sometimes it can make you orange and it doesn't matter who you are. And sometimes it can make you too red. Sometimes it can have like a greenish tint to it or too much of a yellowish hue. And I said, it makes you look sick. I was like, so especially
capture cards can do that. If it's printed the wrong way, that's
them $15 ones. You all kinds of crazy looking.
$15 capture card.
But they like, oh no, it's fine. It's like, okay, you're welcome to believe that, and you're welcome to be wrong.
Look, Evie, I'm channeling Kelly right now.
I was just seeing that.
If you're going to buy a Sony, for example, I don't know, an M50 or Sony 6100 or anything like that, and then you're going to go ahead and buy a $15 capture card, might as well not have bought that M50 or that Sony, because it's counterproductive. Like, you're degrading everything the camera could give you, just because you want to cut corner with that.
Now you're speaking my language.
Capture card. I mean,
you know why you're speaking my language? Because every day in the group, and I shouldn't say this, some people get in trouble. Oh, I just bought me an M1 and I just bought me a $30 hub and it's not working right. Your M1 can do 40 gigabytes per second on those ports that you think are USB ports because you refuse to, I don't know, read. You just squelched them down to 5 gigabytes per second. You went from 40 gigabytes per second, and you squeeze it down to 5 with your $30 thing when what you needed was one of these. Oh, but I didn't want to buy one of those. It was $150.
But you know what? That's one of the mistakes that a lot of people make, and that's something that I do, and I don't even pay attention to the what I'm doing. It's just like a habit. It's like if you are getting something that it allows for the max. Just like I had a friend down in Texas. He lives in a rural part of Texas. He's like, man, it's bananas. He's like, you literally are almost getting that gig, and I'm like, right. I'm like, if I'm paying for gig internet speeds of what's available, I am trying to get the max possible. That means updating and changing the router. That may be updating the Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable, depending on where you at, what you're doing, that you may need for that space. That includes the docking station. That includes when you buy other stuff. It's like, what's the fastest that cable can transfer? What's the fastest that hub can transfer or accept or put out or whatever, because it only takes one break in the chain link for everything else to break. And now you're trying to figure out none of this stuff works, or all of this stuff is a waste of money, when it could be just the one thing. That's it's like, so it's like, it's not about just getting something that.
Yeah, I have my old Apple TV, right? It's been there forever, and it's gorgeous. I took the new Apple TV. I was so excited, ran upstairs, plugged it in. I did not realize that the cable that I had plugged my Apple TV in was a HDMI 1.3. From like when Jesus walked to Nazareth. Like it can only do like 4 gigabytes a second. So I put this brand new, gorgeous Apple TV, clicked it on, and I'm like, why my picture look funny? I said HDR. I was like, click, and it went boom, boom, boom. TV tried, and TV went, and it went back. And I was like, yo, this is like a $4,000 Sony TV player. I got HDR. I was yelling. I was mad. And then I looked at the thing, and there's like, oh, make sure you have the right cable. And I was like, I only buy good cables, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah, that one time I say, oh, the thing's only 1080. I could put this little cable on it. That was 4 years ago. I forgot about it. So I pulled the cable off. I looked at it, and I was like, you stupid. Man, good thing nobody's seen you do this, because they would clown you, Mr. Tech. And then so now I had to go order me some new cables. So I ordered my cables, though.
Yeah, you're saying you actually did not have the cable laying around. You got like how many hundreds of cables laying around?
I have tons of them, but they're all occupied. And since it was just the Apple TV, like it can survive 2 more days in 1080 until my red HDMI cable show up. All of these are connected to my studio down here.
Full disclosure, though, because I get that, and I'm reading the comments. You can get a decent image by working hard with a cheap capture card. That's not what we're saying. Yeah, what we're saying is the sustainability of it is not consistent. Yeah. So we got to remember, when we turn our camera off, like none of us that are using a decent capture card, right? Like your Elgato, your Cam Link and all that. When we turn our camera off, we turn it back on. It saves the picture quality, and the settings are always consistent. We don't always have to reset everything and go through a whole bunch of stuff every time we turn our camera on, because all this, we need to be able to systematize our production as well. We don't have time to do the same thing every single time.
I would need to set up my camera every single time. I'm like, oh, heels to the no.
Yeah, exactly.
Between the calls, between the recording, just getting the face not looking like this for a YouTube video takes me a freaking hour. I'm not going to spend another hour to set the camera up.
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and that too, like.
And I'm already looking like, I look at the screen over there. I'm like, I'm the one that does just have a crappy backdrop. I need to do something about this.
No. But it's like, but even like, so
tiny little lights and you'll be good.
Here's the thing, though. The thing that I noticed, like I always pay attention to, I don't care if I'm shooting with Ecamm or just a capture card, there's always a consistent look. But like I can look at how the contrast and the saturation looks on Facebook right now, and it's more muted than what it actually is a true representation. So not only are you just fighting like whatever that cheap capture card may do, every website is different. Even when I join certain people's live stream, or I'm joining on it as a guest to their show, depending on what they got going on or what they may be using, it may interpret it or compress it differently that impacts the color. So now you're fighting already with what is a good image, and now it's been turned into something else. You know what I'm saying? Let alone, it's like the thing when that people don't realize, it's like cheap or very cheap or budget friendly gear is not always a bad thing because it underperforms. It may perform fine, but if you also don't have the education, the information, the knowledge and experience and know-how to know what to look for to change, you are beating yourself up with boxing gloves. You know what I'm saying? Because
can I put a bet out
know
here
what
right now? Let me put a bet out right now. Because here's something that and I just want to know, because Evie's here so she can secretly tell me, because she knows all of them. All of my marketing friends are very
I don't tell anything secretly. I take
No.
everything in public, so you be careful.
All of my marketing friends are very in love with their setups and their sound. Why? Because that's what they know. Because everybody else in the marketing space is all doing the same thing. About 2 weeks ago, I sat here for like an hour and a half getting Stephanie set with her SM7B. Now Stephanie got her SM7B. I got a couple DMs from other marketing people like, oh, I'm thinking about upgrading my mic. What do you think about the SM7B? And I'm like,
because that's Stephanie for you.
No, I know, right? So now that they actually know what the difference sound like, and now that they can hear it, they're not going to yell at me for I'm a nerd. They don't need an SM7B. Their Yeti is fine, blah, blah, blah. Because once you hear it, you know. I loved New York strips until I moved and I had my first ribeye. And I loved ribeyes until I went to Japan and had a $500 A5 Wagyu.
But there's so many different things that funnel into that. First off, Stephanie has about the same impact level as you have. If Stephanie says she's switching her microphone, there's people going to follow simply because it's Stephanie. You go live talk, I get the message, I'm jumping on the live stream. The same is with Stephanie. So there is the first level. The second level is, yes, you will see me drive over my Yeti at some point, but I simply don't have the budget right now to spend $300-400 on a new mic.
You sound okay anyway, and then
exactly.
You're
and this perfection. Can you imagine this perfection with a perfect microphone? I would kill you. No.
I'm bringing sexy back.
So,
but you know what?
You have a good tone, and so your tone matches it. But a lot of people with deep tones, we sound like trash. Even Stephanie sounds fine on her Yeti. It wasn't a diss against the Yeti. It's just like you will change. Like, okay, if you keep jumping on streams with 4 camera people, you're gonna be like, frick, I want to change my look. Because we're all camera people. But when you jump on a stream with your marketing people, we're like, fuck.
Yeah, but I don't want to be one of the marketing people.
I don't want to be one of the marketing people.
You're turning Evie into a YouTuber. She is about to be a YouTuber.
Did you say,
Evie needs an upgrade,
video today? I'm all for upgrade, and I'm planning on some more lights and more color back there. But Doc, did you actually see the video? It happened. Love the timing. I just shared a video that was my first live with Stephanie, and I think it was actually 3 years ago.
Wow.
I was on my Logitech 920. It's on my feed. I just shared it today, and I'm like, oh my heels. I'm looking at the screen. I'm not even looking at the camera. It was the 920 Logitech. I don't even know what microphone.
Don't those videos feel good though? I love to look at those.
No, they don't feel good, Doc.
No, because it doesn't feel good.
I was just about to say what feels good about it. I mean,
it's like didn't that whooping as a kid feel good? It's like no. Listen, I can look back to videos a year ago, and I'm just like, why? So let alone the very first one.
Ago.
Yeah, it's just like no.
It's terrible. Terrible.
It doesn't feel good. What feel good is to know of the last video that I put out. That one, you know what I'm saying? You can if that feels good.
But what about the romantic filter?
Come on, Doc. Don't do it. Don't do it, Doc. Don't do
it. Filter that looks like you just smidged my glasses.
Oh, Lord, man. My eyes hurt.
Just remember, on the very first Vlogmas, Luis came in with his 8th friend duct taped to a broomstick, and now look at him.
What?
I'm joking.
Hey, Louise, what's happening?
Louise, don't let him. Don't let him do it to you.
This joint still works, bro. I love this thing. This thing is like 14 years old, and it still works.
Come on, Doc. Everybody knows you're a hoarder, man. Like, you keep everything.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody else said it. I thought about that today.
Yeah,
I was just doing random stuff, and I thought about that today. I said, Doc get a lot of stuff. And it just like, I'm like, he be ordering hella stuff. I can't say nothing because I be right there, but I don't showcase it as much as
you say anything. Doc got it in his backpack.
Oh, hold up. Right next Doc be like, hold up. I got this. He reached back, asked Darth Vader to pass him code 7273960. Pulls out the Here you are.
She didn't mean it, Sith Lord. She didn't mean it.
You know what, Doc? Doc, you know what we need? We need a studio tour of all the stuff all the junk you have in your studio.
How long do you want? That's not just the 45. No, that's easily 3 hours. Right
That would be amazing, Doc. I mean,
okay. No, wait. You guys want to know what is the topic for me and JP on his show this week? Oh, wait, hold on. I got to get the flyer. See, JP just threw my
that's
ass
the reason why that's
the
a
bus.
topic.
Look, okay, you guys ready? Let me drop this onto the stream real quick. Boom.
Can too much get hurt you? Of course not. Doc is gonna say no.
That's the right topic for you, Doc, because every time I see you going live, is like, okay, what is he shopping this time?
See,
if you have a whole lot of gear, can that hurt you, Doc?
Is that now? Here's the question, though, JP. Is that an intervention? And that sounds like, now that we think about it, is that an intervention session that we're gonna have here?
Yo, CJ and JP and Elicio and Kurt, they all got together like, yo, let's get this brother. just invite him to the show, and then we're gonna slide in.
Say, yeah, what you want me to talk about today? No, Doc, we really want to talk to you today. We have a few.
He didn't know that it was going to be about him. He thinks he was coming to teach the folks, but it was going to be about him.
Oh my God, that is too funny. That is
Luis,
too funny.
What capture card are you using?
I'm actually using the one that you guys are dogging out, that $18 Amazon video capture card. But apparently I was one of the lucky ones to get one of the ones that actually works.
No, they all work. They all do have one thing though. Every single one I've tried, I've been through 5 of them. It's either tinted green or tinted magenta, so you adjust accordingly. I have never seen one come balanced. I just haven't. But then I've only tried 5, and they make tons of them. Now, if you got lucky and you got one that's balanced, is one thing. If you got one with a magenta cast, and because you are a camera guy and you know how to adjust accordingly, that's fine. But
that's
the average person that doesn't have the years of experience of being a camera guy to fix it, they all out here looking about like, hold on, get the mouse over here. They all here looking like this. Me, Bruce Banner. Like, yo, either Bruce Banner or you're over here. Ugh, I'm just embarrassed. Nah, man, balanced. Yeah, I'm trying to get balanced like Simone
white
Biles.
Balance has to do with everything, and if you can nail that and adjust the colors accordingly, you'll be fine.
But here's the thing, though. You're saying X, Y, and Z things, and the said person that would purchase that device has to go and research what do each one of those things mean.
They don't own one of these.
Exactly. So it's like, so that's the thing. It's like, so when you have somebody that knows what is this doing to my image and how do I have the know-how to change it, most people are going to go and buy, quote unquote, the best cheap of everything in the thing, the best cheap for the audio, video, capture card, blah, blah, blah. And that forms a disaster setup. You cannot be doing the best cheap everything.
But here's the question for me, because let's be honest. If I start buying at least the least of the best, so not even going for the best, but going for the least of the best. If we are talking budget, I'm like, let's start playing the lottery. So where do I make the decision to go cheap or to go all the way out? I'm like, we already had the conversation. We are starting with audio.
Ecosystem, right? Ecosystem will be my thing for you. In what ecosystem do you want to invest into, right? Because that is going to determine everything else that goes with it. There are plenty of good, brand now that's going to give you DSLR world, that's going to give you decent quality, and with color correction, tweaking, LUT, and all that we're talking about, you will get the same image quality, no problem. But which ecosystem do you prefer? Some are going to give you a little more work. Some have that decent, crispy image right out of the box. Others are more cinematic, so you're going to have to do way more work on it. But the thing is, what do you prefer? So you got to read and look at, okay, I'd rather go this route. Some are easier than others. But once you embrace that, you also have to think of, okay, if I want to invest in the future, cannot, really buy more glass, because the more expensive your glass is, which is the lens, that's going to give you the crispier image or the nicer image. That's what you want to look into. So that's going to be my feedback.
Okay, maybe I should finally drop my kit lens at some point.
I mean, well, my thing is a kit lens can be fine. It's not like about, so, I mean, it impacts the image, but depending again on what you're trying to go for, it may be fine to a certain extent. But the thing is, it's like what I initially did, and I'm not saying this is right, but what I initially did is I bought whatever the setup was of who I was learning from, because I knew I was going to get consistent education and information from that. Whereas if they're saying that they use a certain thing and then I go by below that, I now need to go find the answers versus already having like the booklet and the go-to playbook of the what to do. But it's like that is one type of purchaser. The other type of purchaser is a person that, which is what I recommend, it's like list out your non-negotiables. What do not from like features, like I want it to be 4K 60, because you probably won't know all that language. What is the specifics of what you're trying to do? What are you hoping to achieve? Because as soon as you say, I'm planning to do in-person talks between 2021 and 2022 and 2023, and those are going to be keynotes over an hour long. And I want to be able to bring my camera with me and record the whole thing. That means cameras with a 30-minute recording limit are automatically out. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Or if you're thinking about live streaming, because some people will recommend a camera that is in a price point where it doesn't have the necessary things for it to be able to live stream effectively. And if you wanted to do something to where you aren't tethered to Ecamm, I'm starting to share this more specifically, this little point here, because we have to start thinking about leaving the stations at home. Yeah. You know, so if you take this camera away, we now have like Sony phones, the Xperia phones, where you got journalist kind of people. You have people that, again, are doing something on site. So let's say you go to Vid Summit or something like that, or the Ecamm conference, and you have a Sony Xperia phone that can live stream directly from the camera. No capture cards, no nothings other than one cable. So if you're trying to do something like that, you need something with clean HDMI, or just for live streaming in studio and out and about. So just make a list of the things that are important to you, of what you're trying to do between the next 1 to 2 years, because that's how long you're going to own the camera, and then get recommendations based on that. And then you can see like what the budget is, because sometimes the budget is set at what we think is a good number of what we want to spend. If that was the case, everybody would just say a budget of $100.
Wouldn't that be nice?
You know what I'm saying? It's like, right. But it's like, so sometimes it's getting an education and knowing that what we think is a budget for normal stuff is not the budget in the camera space. So it's like, oh, what I would want then is something between this price range. So sometimes we kind of have to adjust like that scale of what's cheap. Because technically $600 is cheap in the camera space. It is, yeah. But you know, it's like it's people that can't make that for their mortgage every month. So you know what I'm saying? So exactly. You know.
And the nice thing is with setting your priorities is it also doesn't matter what people say afterwards.
Yeah.
So Doc, we had that conversation when I switched from Windows to Mac. There was a reason I didn't go M1 and why I went MacBook before I went Mini. And the conversation came up because I put out there, hey, got the laptop. Everybody wanted to know if I got the M1. And I had interaction where it's like, why didn't you get the M1? Because I did my research and it's not working for me yet. This is my main station. I needed the Intel because Google Drive didn't even work with M1 yet. So setting those expectations and what you are going for also prevents you from the black hole of Facebook and people telling you what you should buy.
Oh, dude, that happens in our group every day.
100%.
100%. The last thing I would add to that, though, one thing that's kind of important is, especially all those business people, we always start illegal in many states, by the way, commiserating our personal money with our business money, right? Depending on your industry, they have to be separate. You cannot commingle, right? Commingle will get you thrown in jail if you hold a real estate license, insurance license, doctor's license, some other things. So what happens for me, when this comes up on sale and it's $200 for a piece of kit that I need to run this particular business, Doc is not spending a dime, right? The company is spending the dime, and to get that money back, it gets billed to a client. So there's a client that would have been, you know what, I might have just handled that phone call for free. Those phone calls don't get handled for free no more. I stopped doing that because why? I don't want to be in a situation for my business when it comes up and I need something that's $1,000, I don't even want to think about it. $1,000, it's not my money. It's y'all's money, right? So why did I buy that? I bought that so that I can provide better service for my clients, right? JP's a cinematographer, so he understands this. When you decide you're going to go buy a $5,000 camera, streamers are laughing because $1,000, that's expensive. Our cameras are like 5Gs. But when I do a $8,000 wedding, right, and I 3 of those weddings, then that camera and all of the things about that camera is paid for. Every wedding after that is paying for some other stuff. So people got to get it out of their head, if you're in the business side, that, you know, $100 for conversion AI is your personal money. No, that's your business's money. So you just raise your fees if you have to, or take on that extra client that you kind of don't really want to take, but you know you could use that money. Sometimes that client will give you just what you need to buy the stuff that you need to push over. And you tell that client, look, I'm going to handle you right now because I know you're in a bind. Never say you're desperate. Tell them they're desperate. I'm going to handle you right now because I know you're in the bind.
Business 101.
This is probably not going to be a long-term relationship just because of, you know, just circumstances. But let's call this a trial run. And if this works out, we'll revisit this again. But I will help you right now because I know you're stuck. And now you look like the hero. What they don't know is you needed that $5,000 check to cover all kind of things. But you came in with the, you know, ablandigas on the table and just told them I'm in charge of this. Luis, you don't translate that.
But that's where I run into the issue with a lot of content creators or creative minds in general before they go full on business, where it's like, people, yes, you are having fun. Yes, you are creating fun stuff. Yes, you did this out of an idea and it's working and it's suddenly making you cash. You need to start looking at it as a business. You should never mingle your personal and your business money, because you're never going to know if your business is actually valid. If you do not have the cash in the bank to buy that piece of equipment, don't freaking buy that piece of equipment and get your business in order.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's all about setting realistic expectations, you know, like, and that's the thing. None of us here started at this level we're at.
Nope.
Everybody started somewhere. So yes, you may not have a big budget. The thing is, set yourself realistic expectation. And it's also good to have a vision of where you want to end up.
You know, my dad used to tell people, JP,
towards that.
When we sold our cameras, my dad used to tell people, I will let you borrow my $150,000 camera. I will take a high 8 from the case. This $300 high 8, I'll take it from the case, and we'll both go out and shoot a 10-minute video, and my video will make your video look like trash.
Yeah.
The camera technically has nothing to do with it. I know how to use that $150,000 camera, which is why it is dope. But I got 50 years into knowing how to use that. You know what I'm saying? But with that experience of that, I can pick up this trash camera and make it look dope. You ever seen the bacachata? I can't even think of it in English because we don't say it. Oh, paper camera. You know, the Kodak.
I just saw one. They just came out with one that's a paper version that you can do.
In Japan, they call it a bacachata camera because the tourists would always bring in, and, you know, Japan is the home of cameras. They all had legitimate, you know, Fuji bodies, right? So, there's been contests where they give, you know, people an expensive camera, and then they give photographers the paper camera, and they go out and take pictures, and the photographer will smoke people every time. You'll be out there with your A1 and your baddest glass. We're talking $6,000, 40 millimeter baddest glass, and you come out, your picture look like trash. Annie Leibovitz got that paper, and she like,
that was that like Digital Rev had that competition, like where whenever they would do like an interview segment or whatever, they would always pick a toy camera. It literally would be like an $8 or $10 camera that is plastic. Even like the viewfinder, it is like you can stick your pinky finger through
straight through, you know, right?
It is a plastic toy camera. It's got the Hello Kitty bow on the side. There is nothing technologically right as far, other than the fact that it will take a picture, you know what I'm saying? And they would put it in the hands of a professional, and they were like, yeah, let me get this, and I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna take this bracelet, I'm gonna do, and it's like, you look at the photo and you like, good grief. You know, it's like, it's just like the level of skill that goes into it. I'm just like, you sit there with your mouth open like, I cannot believe she's doing this. you go get that and you look like the 3-year-old that was intended for, trying to take that picture.
Yeah, I'll post a link to one. It's an entertainment thing. You gotta see it. But yeah, but I'm happy to have like Evie, Stephanie, Kelly, Mike. I'm happy to have them around because sometimes them asking me questions gives me good content for other folks who are coming from their position, right? But then I'm also lucky enough that where most of us camera nerds suck, and we suck at the marketing side. So I got a whole squad of the top marketing people in the country that are my friends. So I learned all of that stuff from them. I was like, I'll happily teach you all of this nerd stuff because y'all are teaching me how to do what the hell I need to do. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Sometimes you got to be willing to find people outside of your space. We talked about it today, Evie, in the stream today. Keith was talking about too many of our streamers and our other friends. We get in groups of just yes people, right? I know for a fact Diana would be like, Doc, your stream was shit today. And I'm like, oh.
But it's also not just yes people, and that's going to be my last before I head out here because it's nearly 11 o'clock and I have an early morning. It's not just having yes people around. You know me, I'm going to call you out on your bullshit if you need it to.
Exactly.
Just better not ask me for my opinion if you can't take it. But the thing that we also often end up with is we are in our own circles where you got the YouTubers with the YouTuber circle, you got the live streamers, you got the marketers. I'm still trying to find a pile of efficiency people and system. If anybody finds them, let me know. And this simply because that's where we talk, that's where we grow, that's where we feel home. So for me specifically, I'm trying to also step out of those circles because we're doing our research, we're doing everything, we are learning, we're getting better camera, better audio, whatever it is. And that's where we stick in those circles. So really paying attention to get out of those circles simply to also get a different perspective, not just getting yes people. Doc, I love you, but often enough, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
That's what Ms. D say. Why you had to say that while she could hear you?
I'm like,
she's like,
okay.
you're like Gerald Undone. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
I love you.
I'm not Canadian.
And it's like, I even have a little bit of background with back TV streaming, the whole actually plugging things into multi-stream. Remember those days? I've done those. And still I'm like, what the hell?
You know what, Doc? I should have named this video. This upcoming video. Can knowing too much hurt, Doc?
Hello, JP. I thought, what? Hey, I invited y'all to this room. This is not an intervention.
Doc, like, you know what? End of the stream. I'm out of here. I'm sticking.
We're only doing it because we know you can take it and we love you.
We
don't give you shit anymore.
I'm here. I tell my guys in the community almost every Saturday. I learn just as much from y'all as I do trying to help y'all because yes, it's extremely helpful. And I mean, like people like Rob and Joel and I would go into a nerd moment, and everybody else would be like, "Hey, we in here, right?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, my bad. I'm sorry."
But it's also fine if those nerd moments just happen in between. It's the moment I reach that level, it's like, Doc, what was that thing? I don't remember what you actually said because it didn't compute. You were talking like different language. But I know you're talking about
another language.
Can you repeat that now that I'm actually, I think, able to follow?
That's why I try to say crazy stuff to Evie in German because at least she'll halfway understand me. Hey, Evie, you know what I want to say for you, Evie, here.
I'm just keeping it real.
Oh my gosh. I've been waiting to plug that all night long. Just like, wait, I'm just just ready.
Boom. This beta test of the room thing semi-failed, but then it was just blessed because I got to kick it with my homies and we got to check it out. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as well as we would like to for a co-working type thing, but maybe if you guys got ideas for panels, and I'll just pick people that we can do panels on because I think the conversation needed to be heard in our group.
It was good.
And I just wanted to do something that would not be one directional type stream. And this, if it was going to do it this way, I could have just used Ecamm and then just invited y'all all in. But yeah, we'll figure out some more stuff. We'll do more like, just kind of chats situations where we can help people figure things out. And then Evie, you keep doing you. We're gonna get your channel to like blow up. You'll be.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I am revamping pretty much anything and everything. Having stalked you a little bit, you might be one of the reasons why I'm starting this. I'm going to be doing a later Thursday live show, Click Up Unplugged, where we are just having fun behind the scenes. So not just talking workflows, not just talking tech, but having the Ecamm guest link out there. If people want to jump on, and
that's
just having this
it.
open conversation.
That's how we friends. She had her thing open, just come and join the thing. And one day, my dumb, I'm gonna click this button.
Well,
click.
Evie,
and she was like, she's like, who is this? And I'm like, oh, this is Doc. I'm from Honolulu, blah, blah, blah. I'm the dude that dumb
you
stuff
did
in the
ask
chat.
to help. I was like, what can I help you? It's like, nothing. I just wanted to come on. I was like, okay, cool.
I was like, help me. You see my credentials, lady? But I just
you never
appreciate
know
you
who you're
like,
talking to, though.
Yeah, it was funny.
It's fun.
But it was fun. And I mean, now she's stuck with me. She's like, I should have never clicked that shit.
Yeah, you should have never put that link live. You can never get rid of him ever again.
No, my bestie from some other testes, and she's like, I should have never let that dude in here, bro.
Oh my goodness.
She's stuck with me in India for life. And she's like, damn, I messed up twice. What kind
India's
of sin did I do
doing
to get
selfies? She's gonna be doing selfies at 78 years old with shaky camera and everything.
Yo, gang, thank you guys for kicking it. It was hella fun. And I see y'all tomorrow morning. I have Miss Jillian for a stream, and after that, I'll be at Ecamm kicking with y'all.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
Right.
Thank y'all.
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Aloha.
All right.